Yo, what's up guys? In this video we're going to talk about what happens when you fuck up on your snake diet refeed, or when you binge on unhealthy food. Like, what should you do? How should you recover? This is assuming you binge on like a refeed, like you're actually fasting. But honestly, like, I just get the feeling most of you are probably not even fasting. You know, I don't know why, I just kind of get that feeling. It's like most of you probably aren't working out either. And most of you probably aren't eating healthy food. So like, in the off chance, I guess, that you binge, or that you fast and then you binge on something, this video will explain to you what you do, okay? So before we get into that, if you guys haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. God damn, it feels like I've been saying that forever. I have a digital marketing channel too, link in the description. And I've got like a blog and like Instagram. And like a lot of other stuff. You guys can like stalk me on all those platforms if you want. Okay? So, when I like first got into the snake diet, I talked to the snake diet guy, Cole, for like, we like exchanged some like voice messages on Facebook, and this was like before I had really any experience with like prolonged fasting. And I asked him, I was like, I don't know how it came up, but I think like I fucked up or something, or I went out drinking, or like I just like ate a bunch of like shitty food, and I was like, what should I do now, you know? And he's like, if you fuck up, you gotta fast the next day, right? So that's pretty much it. Like, I can pretty much end the video right now. But I made another video, I think yesterday, where I said, it was like, I think it's called, you don't have a thyroid problem, you have an attitude problem, right? And it's like, why did you fuck up in the first place? You know, I think that's, of course, on the one hand, you need to examine like the short term, I'm gonna walk, fuck this. You need to examine like the short term, what you need to do like to fix it, to like find the solution. But like, you have to think about it, like why did you fuck up in the first place? Like, why did you go and eat that shitty food? And not just like, look, I'm not saying that you can't have like a little thing of like pudding at the end of the night, you know, before you go to bed, or like whatever, get like a couple cookies or something, or even like a little thing of ice cream. Like, we're all human beings, we all want to eat that stuff, and like, we live in the modern world. I'm not saying that like you can never eat that, right? Even though like technically you shouldn't, it's still fine, you know? Like, come on, this is the world we live in. Like, who's actually, unless you're like a professional athlete, or you get, you know, you're a bodybuilder preparing for like a competition, like who's really going to be that disciplined, you know? Nobody. And nor should you be, right? Because like, who cares, seriously? But that's different from like going and stocking up on like Cheez-Its. Like, you know how it is, like, or at least for me, like sometimes this happens to me when I'm in America, right? It's like, I'll go, because in America they have like the best snacks. So I'll go to like Whole Foods, I'll go to Trader Joe's or something, and I'll be like, okay, like what do I want to eat for dinner? I'll get like some enchiladas. I'll be like, okay, that's kind of healthy, right? It's got chicken, it's got like, you know, it's organic or something. Be like, okay, that's the healthy thing. All right, now what snack do I want to eat afterwards? Because I do OMAD, right? So like, when I eat at night, I know I'm gonna eat a big meal. So I'm like, all right, what snack do I want to eat? So I'll get some like, you know, sesame crackers or something like that. And then I'm like, well, what can I dip them in? And then I'll like get some hummus, I'll get some like spreadable cheese. And then I'll be like, okay, that's good, but like maybe something else. So I'll get like the pretzels with the peanut butter. And then before you know it, I'm like, all right, what should I get for dessert? I'm like, well, you know, I'll get the mochi balls, because those are pretty good. I'll eat a few of those. But then I want something like really sweet afterwards, but only a little bit, you know? And then I get like the chocolate covered graham crackers, and it's like, before you know it, you come home with like an extra $20 worth of shit food, and you've planned this entire binge that you know you're going to do, and you know you're going to feel awful afterwards, but you just anticipate it so much that you're like kind of excited to do it, right? I was watching a vegetable police video the other day, and I think I mentioned this in one of my videos, but like, he was talking about how I don't know, in one of his videos he like went to a Chinese buffet, because he's also doing OMAD. So he went to a Chinese buffet, and he was like really looking forward to it like a lot, right? And he goes, he gets all this like really like, you know, low quality Chinese buffet food, and he felt sick and he broke out afterwards. And like, he even mentioned in his video, he's like, eating one meal a day is fun, like binging is fun, but it's only the anticipation that's the fun part, right? The actual, like, you know, it's fun for like a couple hours beforehand, but then you have to spend 8, 12, sometimes 24 hours like recovering from it. So that's really like, and this is really the challenge with like food cravings, you know, and this is also why I'm so like, why I like talk so much about eating raw meat, because in my experience, that's like the best, most satisfying, most satiating food to eat. You know, like I want to binge too sometimes, you know, like I'm sure everybody does. I want to go and like buy all that like crappy food that I mentioned before, or like the Japanese equivalent, whatever it is. But, you know, I know that if I do, I'm going to feel awful. So a little system that I've come up with that I think works pretty well is that I say to myself, okay, I can eat whatever I want. You know, let's say I'm going to eat, I'm going to do OMAD or whatever. I'm going to eat whatever I want, but I'm going to make sure that like 80 to 90% of my calories are going to be from like what my body actually needs. So in this case, it's raw meat or maybe some raw liver, which is what I've been doing lately. But back when I was doing the warrior diet, what I would do, because the warrior diet is basically like OMAD, except you eat, you know, the meal that you eat at night is like a salad or like steamed vegetables to start. That's like your appetizer. And then you eat your protein, and then afterwards you're allowed to eat carbs if you want. Works pretty well. Okay, so what I would do back then is I would start with the salad, I would eat the protein, and then I would snack on carbs if I wanted to. But yeah, the point is that you need to like, it takes, I don't want to say it takes discipline, but you just need to like, you just need to trust that eating the nutrient dense food is really what you need, and it's really what's better for you. Because once the cravings kick in, like you just kind of get like hypnotized, and you almost like, honestly, like, all right, this is kind of gonna be like a weird example. I shouldn't even really say this, but whatever, something I'm sure everybody can relate to, or at least the guys, like, oh God, all right, whatever, I'm gonna say it. So basically, like, you know, if you want to like, you know, you wanna like jerk off to porn, right? You like prepare everything ahead of time, you know, like prepare your like little seating area or your apartment, and like you get everything ready, and like, you know, you go look for like your favorite videos, and like, you know, you get everything like all set ahead of time, and you're anticipating and you're looking forward to it, and you're like possessed, right? Like, I don't think I'm the only one. Maybe I'm the only one who does that. It's possible, but I don't think I am. I think that's a very, you know, they say a personal problem is a universal problem. So like, you know, like, and afterwards you feel awful, right? As a man, at least. I'm sure the guys can relate to that. So, fuck, I hope it's not windy. All right, whatever. So anyway, just know that like, it's kind of like the same thing. Like, you basically know that if you, like that hypnosis that you feel is not gonna lead to anything good. Shit, there's wind. I hope this doesn't like fuck shit up. Sorry. Anyway, just know that like you gotta do something else. You gotta distract yourself somehow. You have to like figure out some way to like just do some work, or like this is why it's so good to be like a busy person who has like hobbies, right? Because anytime you start to feel like tempted to like honestly like get possessed with one of these like very viscerally pleasing, you know, highly satisfying in like a very primal way, but ultimately bad for you activities like eating junk food or masturbating or whatever, like you just like, for example, sit down and like work on whatever your project is, and you forget about that shit in like 5 minutes, you know, and before you know it, like 6 hours have passed and you don't even really want to like cheat anymore or like give in to your temptations. So yeah, like I guess honestly, now that I think about it, really like the way to like kind of get over or even really prevent yourself from binging is to get a hobby. Like, I feel like, and this is not fair to say, right? But I feel like extremely overweight people who don't work on the computer as like freelance marketers, right? Because that's the exception. Because those people are like on the computer all the time anyway, and it's very easy to snack and just eat shitty food and just sit down all day. But people who are just very overweight and are not like that and don't have that like extremely busy computer life, they don't really like have anything going for them, you know? Like, I'm just thinking in my head, like people in like, this is really stereotyping a lot, but like people in like middle America who like, whatever, I don't know, like I don't even know any of these people, but I'm just like assuming that they're like, I'm gonna stop here, all right? That they're just like on welfare or whatever, and just like broke and do nothing, and like at the end of the night they go like eat their McDonald's and you know, drink their big gulps or whatever. Okay, so bottom line, like, get a hobby. Don't, like, just get something to distract you when you feel that the cravings are starting to like kick in, you know? And all you really need, it's like, actually now that I think about it, it's like when you fast, right? In my experience, when I fast, I will feel good most of the day, and then around like 4, 5 o'clock, I start to get like really hungry, and I'm like, shit, like this is go time, you know? And I would say between like, let's say 5 o'clock to like maybe 8:30 at night is kind of the worst. And then once I pass like 8:30, maybe 9 o'clock, and I still haven't eaten anything, then I know like, okay, I'm probably gonna go to bed in like, you know, 2 hours or something, and I don't really have to worry about you know, eating. Like I've essentially made it past the point of no return. So that's a little bit longer of a window that you have to deal with, but like, if you're just thinking about getting some food, like a normal meal or like your one meal of the day, I guess the same thing applies, really. You just need to like find something to carry you past that peak of desire, I guess. So where you just kind of forget that you even wanted it in the first place, if that makes sense, okay? And if you fuck up, if you like whatever, eat shit anyway, like, you know, obviously do a little more cardio, like maybe hit the gym a little bit harder, or just fast, right? Like if you're not used to fasting, like if you're not fasting at all, you're like still haven't started for some reason, I don't know, like why are you even watching my videos? Actually, that's not true. You know, I'm not only making videos about fasting anymore, but like, I don't know. I'm happy that you watch my videos, like keep watching my videos. But come on, like, you know, just like work out a little bit. Like even, honestly, just do something, right? Just like, you know, if you don't have time, like this, I talk to my parents sometimes and they'll like go through phases where they, all right, I'm actually gonna keep walking. They actually go through phases where they like don't work out, right? And you know me, I'm kind of like a health Nazi. So I always ask them when I talk to them, maybe once every week or 2 or 3 or something, I'll be like, are you guys working out? And they're like, oh no, you know, like we haven't gone, like when's the last time you went? And they're like, oh, 2 months. I'm like, holy shit, how do you go 2 months without working out? They're like, well, you know, we just got busy and like we have the dogs and like we don't have time to like go over to the gym and get dressed and all that stuff. And like, you know, you don't, like, every single workout does not need to be your best workout, right? Like not every day, I used to say this in sales all the time, but not every day needs to be your best day. And not every day is gonna be your best day. Like in sales, like let's say there's 7 days in the week. All right, I gotta end this pretty soon. There's tons of fucking people here. In sales, you're gonna have 2 good days, 2 bad days, and 2 average days every week, you know? It's like, you wanna talk about an emotional, what's up, brother, what's up? Thank you, thank you. You're gonna have like an emotional roller coaster, like, Jesus Christ, every single week. Because those bad days, man, it might only be 8 hours or 12 hours, but 8 hours of having a bad day, like you are not having a good time. You are not enjoying yourself. That's 8 hours that feels like 80 hours, you know, and it's not fun. And that's twice a week on average, you know, sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less if you're on a roll. But it's kind of the same thing with the gym. Like, you know, I went to the gym today, I'm actually coming back from there now, and I had a shitty workout. It was awful, right? Like the gym is hot, it's boring, there were no girls there. They were playing like terrible music. I'm like, this fucking sucks, you know? Didn't really have a good workout, but I still went and I still did something, you know? So like, whatever, who cares? That cutie pie. Man, I gotta start fucking doing pickup again. All right, so like, just try, really, is what I'm saying. You know, I think a lot of us really kind of get into this mode of thinking where we're like, you don't want to start something until you can fully commit to it, but really every little bit helps, you know? Just do a little bit. You know, if you're not fasting now, just at least do OMAD. If you're doing OMAD, like do a little bit of fasting, you know, like a prolonged fast. Like just do whatever you can, because that like increasing effort that you're doing will condition you to keep pushing your comfort zone and trying harder and harder. Okay, I should take my own advice for a lot of this stuff. But anyway, now I really gotta go. Subscribe to my channel. Peace.